Well, we are live. Is anybody out there? For those
How
that are or on their way, going to say hello, hi. Hope you've had a good week, um, and you hope you're going to have a good evening or morning wherever you are. So when we get a few more names on the board, we'll make a start. That was quick. In the meanwhile, you know the routine. If you want to make sure your phones are turned off and anything else that may disturb you, and then get yourself comfy for the next 20 minutes, half an hour. And don't forget, we got a Q&A after this. I've got Orla with me tonight, so I won't cut everyone off, and that's it. Cut it dead. I could say that the computer, we had a power cut, but in my untold ignorance, I've just pressed the wrong button, and then I thought, I shouldn't have done that. But there you go. Life's full of wonders. Well, I guess most of us are here, as far as I know. I'm going to say hello, Marianne, Sarup, Haresh, Elaine, Amina, Amala. Get it right in a minute. Sorry, Glennis, Karen, Marianne. Marianne gets two hellos. You got. I won't have to say next week. You carry it over. Right. Are we all ready and raring to go? Yes. I can't see you, but I can see you all nodding your head because I've got amazing vision. You see. Not only is it X-ray vision, it's telescopic. Don't quite know that fits. Anyway, enough. We're going to begin. Okay, let's start as usual with a nice deep breath, deep down into the pit of your stomach. And then when it's comfortable, just breathe out. And breathe normally for a little while. And the next time we breathe in, just be aware of the air, the oxygen, the healing energy you are actually beginning to take in. And see how different it feels. And then when you're ready, just exhale. And as you do, be aware of any negativity or trauma, stress, any sort of negative energy like that that's been around you all day or bugging you. Or just acknowledge that the healing energy you're breathing in is gradually dissipating all that unnecessary garbage that we carry with us. Let's take another nice deep breath and just hold on to it for a little while. If you can count to 3 or 4, that's great. And just exhale when you're ready, being aware that all of the niggles and bits and pieces have left you. They've been removed from your body by the healing energy. And as you sit there in a nice and quiet, just be aware of that healing energy which is gathered in the pit of your stomach. Just see that as a beautiful large ball of lovely blue light. And you can see it moving around inside of you. And it moves around your body to the extent where every cell in your body is touched and surrounded by this healing energy. Let's just take a moment while we really notice and absorb this feeling, this beautiful, new, sort of comfortable, easygoing feeling. And you can feel it from your toes right through your whole body, even your fingertips and your toes. any extremity will be receiving the blue energy. And just continue to enjoy the feeling of that energy working its way through you. And now you begin to become aware that that energy is being released from your body in all directions. And you notice it spreading out across our planet. And just keep visualizing the energy working its way over the whole planet. So as you see the planet, it is wrapped up like a huge blue blanket, giving out its healing light to all of those that wish to listen and to be a part of it. And remember, we are offering it to people. We're not forcing them. It's there if they want it. And those that don't want it, that's up to them. That's their call. They will when they're ready. And so as we sit here, we realize that we are actually radiating that energy out from us. And it never runs out, because the healing energy is a universal energy that is always there for us whenever we choose to use it. Not only for us, but other groups, individuals as well. And continue to feel that energy coming in and going out. And if there's any places of your body that aren't comfortable, maybe a bit of displeasure, a little bit of aches and pains, and that's not just the physical body, it applies to the emotional and the mental body. The healing light will work its magic on any area of your being that is uncomfortable, is feeling any form of dis-ease. And now, if you choose, if you have any friends and loved ones, the near and dear ones, people who you are fond of, now will be a good time to offer that energy to those people also. And let's take this opportunity to think and to focus on all our animals, all our pets that we love and cherish, and all the domesticated animals. And then we keep going to all the wildlife, whatever their life is, whether it's in the desert, in a forest, it matters not. And we spread the blue light to them with the idea that they will live their life as they are meant to be. And now we move on to all the trees and all the bushes and flowers, all the food that grows in the ground. We see the blue mist around all the trees. In fact, every living thing, whether it be a tree, a person, an animal, and let's not forget all the fish in our waters, rivers and oceans, and the birds of the wing that fly around and often wake us up in the morning with their chorus. And we think about also of the water in the oceans and the rivers, that the healing mist is working even deep, deep down in the ocean, helping to purify it of all the pollution, of all the microplastic now that the fish are eating. And obviously, we eat the fish, we're eating the plastic. So just really concentrate in radiating that energy out. And as we look at our surroundings, our environment, with the blue mist, caressing everything and everyone, just look at our planet and feel the energy that the planet has, if it's allowed to. We can also focus that energy on any natural disaster that is happening on the planet at the moment. And even the man-made disasters with all the bombs and pollution. We think of our planet. Although we know that the planet will be here long after we are. I guess it's like sending healing energy to our home and all those that live in it and around it. So we'll just sit for a few minutes in the quiet, enjoying the healing energy within you and the sight and the effect as you see it leaving you and adding what is already there to our planet and every living thing upon it. Now, very carefully, very slowly, it is time to allow your awareness back to your physical body. And as it comes back, it brings back the picture of what you have just visualized of our planet, what it can be. And now, as you get back and begin to become aware and awake, just rub your feet on the floor or stamp them lightly, bang them, just a bit gently at first. And then, as you begin to feel a bit more grounded, just stand up slowly, even hold the side of a table or something to steady you just in case. And when you feel totally grounded, then the rest of the day is yours, or the night. But I will just say, we're having a question and answer tonight, and I can guarantee that, as you got Ola with us. I might turn it off to see what happens. But anyway, I don't know how many of you've seen it, but in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be changing it. We'll be changing this to a Wednesday night, same time and everything. It just, instead of being Thursday, over in our part of the world, it'll be Wednesday. Nothing else will change, so it'll still be whatever your local time is. It'll be the same. Just like over here where we are, it's Thursday night, and it'll change from Thursday night to Wednesday night. So that's all loud and clear. And I'll remind everyone over the next couple of weeks. I think it's two Thursdays from here. We're changing it. I'm not sure. I think that may be the 10th or something. Anyway, I'll make a definite note of it and put it on, so everybody knows. So if you decide to get online on a Thursday, you'll have a good time on your own. Okay, so we're going to go to our Q&A. So we'll have a couple of minutes. If anyone wants to stay on and they need a 2 or 3 minute pit stop, now's a good time to do it. So if you want to talk amongst yourselves, you're more than welcome. We won't be able to hear you, but that's okay.
That's true.
Not a problem. So I've got to have a mouthful of cold tea because I haven't any hot tea. I like cold coffee, but I don't like cold tea.
I hate cold tea.
Don't like it. Okay, so are we all here that wants to be here or whatever? You're not obliged to ask a question, but just be aware if you don't. You never know what happens.
There may be consequences.
Yes. Okay, so if anyone wants to ask a question, do go ahead. Ola's here, so she's going to switch it on or off. I'll throw it down the garden. I don't know. Anyway, whoever wants to ask. I know Harish has got some, because he said last week he was going to ask these questions and missed it. Okay.
We have 3 already. The first one's from Marianne. I'll put it up on screen for you. There you go.
Yeah. As every country has different energy, it keeps moving. As every country has a different energy when you travel, what do you do to ground yourself in the new energy? Well, my answer to that really is it depends on the individual, but I don't suppose any of you are actually thinking and asking your higher self or your soul what to do. No, that'd be too hard, wouldn't it? Seriously, you listen to your intuition. No, not all countries are vastly different. I mean, some are, but some, the same as next door neighbour, wherever they are. So, and you with that, and while you're tuned into your intuition, that will tell you if you need to strengthen your bubble for protection, or if not, you can carry on as you are, just being aware. But it's difficult. Yeah, when you hypothetically, when you get off the plane or boat, whatever it is, and you sort of put your feet on solid ground, you'll know if it's a good feeling, if it's a bad feeling, or whatever. And so there's no rule book on it. Obviously, you just, if it feels good, that's fine. You know, before you get off the plane, or as you're walking down the steps or sky bridge or whatever, just ask that protection your protection is sufficient, or a bit more than what you may need. But yeah, your intuition is there. I mean, that really is the answer to everything. We all know the answers, but some of us don't want to see them for some reason. It's easier to ask someone else than actually it is, oh yeah, I can do this. But anyway, it's not about a lecture on that. So I hope that answers your question, Marianne. Anyway, we got Haresh. Does it help to send healing to people who have just passed on? Definitely. 300, 500%. I've just got to drop in here that my answers are my philosophy, okay? They're not set in stone anywhere. I learned how to be a master printer by listening to about 6 or 7 other master printers, and I listened to each bit of them, and I came up with my own way of doing something based on what they said, taught me. And this is the same. You start off. My philosophy says that when we die, we obviously go to that nice rainbow in the sky, or wherever you visualize you go, and you go. A lot of people that die accidentally, suddenly, will go to what is known as the halls of healing. How you see that hall, whether it's a great modern building, a building that's 1,000 years old, but there's in the sort of in the spirit world, for want of a better word, there are obviously they're building, but they're not physical building, or nothing's physical. And you go there, if you've been just die of old age, then you probably wouldn't need to go there. But if you die in an accident, obviously you weren't expecting it. So some people can go over with quite a bit of anger. I mean, like a past life regression or a clearing, to clear the energy from the house, because there's an entity there that doesn't want to leave and gets a bit nasty. That's usually because they died before they wanted to, so they got a bit niffy about it. So yes, in answer, yeah, you can, and also you send it to the people that's just gone home, as I call it, which is great. You ask them, they have healing before they move on, and also for the family that they've left behind. I mean, they're the ones that are suffering at this point. It's the old story, it's easy. When you go to visit someone in hospital, or you're in hospital, the worst place to be is sitting in a chair beside the bed, feeling totally helpless. All you can do is watch and, hope and pray that everything comes out right. So all of those people, all the close families, they have a great sense of loss, whatever. So you sending healing will affect them as well. So it's there if they want it. I hope that answers that one. Who was that?
Good one from Sarupa. The last one was Haresh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my question, what is the difference between starting... It's gone. It's jumped off the page. Found it. Yeah, see, it jumped off the screen, not alone the tummy. My question, what is the difference between starting the healing energy in the tummy or in the heart? Does it carry a different frequency? I guess really the healing energy. I started in the stomach, I think, because it's quite an open, relatively open area with all that's going on in there, and from there it can start out pretty much at the same speed all over the body. And I think also the stomach can be quite an emotional place within our body, and I'm not saying not it's not a mental type uh, disease. It's a to me it's always been like the seat of emotions, if you like. It's where a lot of things begin. I mean, it's where I guess when you think when you're born, you come out the mother, and you're there laying on your own. When you think about it, what connects you to you and your mother? The, the umbilical, which physically starts in one side of the stomach and goes to someone else in the stomach. So it's like a permanent link, not seen, but it's a permanent link. So I feel that's that's a place to start. I can't say I read it in a book or someone told me, or um, it's just I don't know. It's just what I was guided to do, guided to start. So, and to me, it's easier to visualize something like like a big ball of healing energy in your tummy. It's better to envisage is there instead of sitting on your head or on your kneecap or something. It to me makes a lot of sense. Physically it makes a lot of sense, but as I say, energetically, it's as far as I can remember, it's just something that I adapted. I suppose I got a handle on, and that's it. And if I listen to a meditation that starts somewhere else in the head, um, it just seems different. And starting it in the heart, that's the heart is more liable to reject it, I suppose, because it's a foreign energy. Foreign as in it's an energy that it's not used to receiving. Whereas you look at what goes into our tummy every day, all the food that we eat, all the stuff on our hands that we may not rinse them before we eat. Um, yeah, it just does it carry a different frequency? No, the healing energy is one constant energy. It doesn't change for this or for that. Although having said that, I wouldn't swear on that. So I don't know. That may be a bit vague, Sarupa, but I hope it maybe gives you an idea.
The next one is from Doris.
Okay, can you please explain the meaning or purpose of all of the rainbow colours when giving healing? Okay, yeah. In light, put all the colours together and you get white. If you're mixing pigment like paint, ink, if you mix all the colours together, you should get a perfect black. So the colours of the rainbow is basically the white light that's gone through a prism, a crystal, and it split it from yellow to. I mean, they say there's 7 colours in the rainbow, but there's 7 billions, I think. You've only got to change it by, I don't know, a little piece of hair or anything. You can. I know this because I'm a printer and I know about colour. I've forgotten a lot, but you can have a beautiful colour red. Then you can have a litre of red ink, and you can drop a teaspoonful of yellow in it, and it will change that colour. So you've got 2 colours, and then you can go on ad infinitum on each colour, but then multiply that by 7 times, the number of colours you get is it's infinite. It goes on and on. So I think the ray you see the rainbow colours of the rainbow. I mean, obviously it's the sun shining through the water, which causes it to split. So we see it as different colours. And some people, I heard there was a woman, must have been in the paper or something. There was a little article on the radio, I think, that someone, an American woman, wrote in and said they'd just seen this reflection, just seen one rainbow and another one right beside it, and it was like you'd never seen it before. So, it was all magical, and what's going to happen. It's a great omen. And then whoever it was, when you should come over to England or over here, a number of times you see a rainbow and then a reflection of it. It's quite amazing. And I believe that the colours split to become in each individual colour. You probably all know that every colour has its own energy. Like crystals are coloured and they have their own energy, which match the light, the energy of the crystal, and the rainbow is, in colour-wise, is the same. It's there for whoever wants to use it. Can it change depending on the sender or the receiver? Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it can. If the receiver is perfectly open to what they're going to receive, and the sender is completely clear before they send. Otherwise, whatever they have, they're going to send that to a person that they're allegedly trying to heal. They're transferring their thoughts and feelings unconsciously to the person that's already in trouble. Is just going to get more trouble. I suppose it's throwing a drowning man a bucket of water, really. It's just you're just stretching out the time that someone may be suffering, or they've got a problem. Otherwise, you wouldn't be giving them healing. So yeah, depending on the sender or the receiver, if the receiver is open to it, that's great. But most of that responsibility would be on the person that's sending it out. So you're sending the person healing. So if they're but they really want healing, they're not going to worry about anything else. It's like, dying of thirst. I just want to drink the water. I've got this problem. I just need healing energy. So it will go to them where it's meant to go. And the person that's sending it, you can send healing to someone, and then they could have just come off the street and experienced a lot of road rage and been arguments and aggressive and this, that, and the other. You can't do that if you're going to give healing, because you're projecting that energy on them. Whoever the poor soul is that's laying in agony, he's really going to appreciate, she's really going to appreciate all your anger and bitterness, and so you can't do that. If you're going to give healing in any way, shape, or form, you've got to be not perfect, but you've got to be as clear as you feel you can. And Karen, can you talk a bit about how transmuting negative thought forms versus healing these thought forms? How do we do it specifically? If you've got a negative thought form, then do you want to transmute it? Otherwise, you can have another way. What a lot of people do is they'll give the person healing, but the negative thought form is still there. If you give someone healing that you want to transmute negativity, you've got to make sure that's what you're actually doing. You've got to be quite clear on what you're doing. And as I just said, you yourself has got to be in a really good, comfortable space place. How do you do it specifically? If that person isn't there, then you send absent healing to them, and ask your intuition first if it's okay to do it. Not every two people are on the same frequency. So if you're wildly different to someone you want to give healing, it's never going to work because you're so different. Not necessarily physically, but sort of spiritually. Another word, you can be miles apart. So it's never going to work. In fact, it can have a negative effect. Transmuting the negative thought form is fine if you really know what you're doing. And one thing about transmuting energy, negative energy, you have to visualize. You don't have to, but if we do that with someone, we visualize now that we've transmuted the pain that they had in their stomach, for argument's sake. So what we do is, as soon as that negativity is gone, we'll fill that space with unconditional love, healing, any of the loving colors, energies to put in that void where that negativity came from. Otherwise, you can leave that. You can imagine that someone's got a hole in their chest or anywhere where something was moved, physically removed. You've got to put something in there, otherwise the negativity can just come back, or another can just come back. But by filling that gap, filling that hole, you're basically saying, closed for business, or sorry, full up, no room. You hear people say, I got rid of this, I got rid of that. And again, firstly, where do you transmute it to? And what are you going to put in its place? Yeah, there's a thought for you.
Tony, are you taking second questions from people, or do you have time, or do you just want to take one question from people?
No, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another one from Sarupa here.
Healing structures, like say banking. Would we send healing in the same way we do to the hospitals? Hang on, I've got to get that up. That's better. Healing structures, like say banking, would we send healing in the same way we do to the hospitals? If people want it as a healing is for life forms, not systems. I got to read that again. Healing systems, like say banking, will we send healing in the same way we do to the hospitals? If people want it as a healing is for life forms, not systems. Yeah. I would say yes. I mean, why not? I mean, a lot of people say that, banks are only there to rip you off and take all your money and charge you big interest rates. I mean, that's not where they came from originally. It's where we have allowed them to go by supporting them. When you look at, some of the big banks like over here in New Zealand, how much profit they make. They make obscene profits, and yet at the same time they're probably kicking someone out of their house because they can't afford a $3,000 mortgage. But all of it is, it's all a lesson for people. I wouldn't say a bank is a healing structure. I suppose it is in a way, because people go there and they do make transactions and this thing and the other. And if things don't work and they learned from it, then they've learned something. If they go in and experience something really negative and they just abuse it and walk away, then it will probably come back to haunt them another time. But the healing is for life forms, it's not systems. But then who puts the systems in place? Who makes the systems? What are the systems for? Still the same answer, isn't it? Us.
Mm.
Then we support the bank because they look after our money, although they charge us for it. They look after our money. And if you've got a big sum of money to do, would you give it to the bank to look after or put it under the mattress? You know, it's pretty that much a no-brainer, I think, that one. Anyway.
We have a follow-up from Doris to her previous question.
Sorry, I'm looking for it. I can't see it.
Oh,
it's
on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you please explain the meaning of purpose of all the rainbow colours when giving healing? Can it change depending on the sender or the receiver? The colour itself doesn't change. People's perception of it does.
And then the one she's asking now is a follow-up to that. So she's saying, if you see green when giving healing, or orange or red, etc., what is the meaning of each color?
Well, I would suggest you go and look this up and can give it to you in great detail. But basically, the colour pink is unconditional love. And I'm convinced the only place you see unconditional love is when you've got a pet dog. Because whatever you do to that dog, and you come home, it'll always be pleased to see you. Whereas it doesn't always work with your partner or when you go to work, whatever. Green is a colour of sort of tranquility, I guess. Orange is transformation. Yellow is, I think that's for intellect. I think that helps you learn. Yellow. Not sure. I think that's what it is. What have I missed? The blue is healing, and there's so many. Well, it's like anything. As I said, there's so many different colours. That everyone is a colour, but the actual hue, HUE, that's red, and then you've got all the shades and tints of red, which are the colour. So you've got people see colours in different ways. But you can, if you want to send someone unconditional love, then you can see them covered in pink. If they're sick or whatever, you can send them blue. And so orange is usually it's transmuting from one state of being to another, and by that I mean one state of life is in as much as where are they at, what are they doing in their life. It doesn't have to be a big physical change. It can change someone's outlook or whatever. And any form of healing, any form of energy, is dependent on the person giving it and the receiver. Some people will give other people healing, allegedly healing, but with the main idea is to cause harm to that person, cause harm to that tree to fall over, and you can go on like that forever. So if you give healing, I can't. This is sort of one of the rules I live by. I suppose my rule anyway. If you're going to give healing, you've got to make sure that you're in a fit state to send it. Or ask yourself, would I like to receive healing from someone that feels like I do at the moment? And if your answer is no, if it says yes, don't hang around, just go and do it. Yeah. That's good.
We have two more questions.
Okay.
You have time? Yep.
Well, two more, and then that'll be the lucky last.
Next one is Glynis. When you come across an accident or like a road traffic accident, can you share what you do in terms of healing?
If you come across I'm going to throw this back. What do you think you'd do? Anyone can answer that. So don't sit quiet. I mean, this goes back forever and a day. I mean, Helen's been doing this a hell of a lot longer than I have. But you, all of you, should know the answer to all of this. And there's one answer. There's only one answer, and that's ask your intuition. I mean, that's what you have intuition for. So I'll answer it this time anyway. When you come across a road accident, then you just quickly ask, is it all right to send healing? If the answer is no, drive on. If the answer is yes, then you you cover. What I do is I cover the whole area. Firstly in blue, because that's a healing colour straight away. Send it with blue, and just send that, and then usually send pink, an unconditional love, because that helps to make people calmer and everything. So I send PBs. Well, good for you. That's what works to you. That's fine.
That's Sarupa, and then Haresh said,
That's Sarupa jumping in.
and
Yeah.
Haresh.
So go back to Glynis. I hope that gives you some idea. What I do, wherever I am, if I hear a siren, an emergency vehicle, then I never see the van or whatever, but wherever that noise comes from, I just imagine that is got covered in blue healing energy on its way to the accident to hospital. You don't actually physically have to see it. Anytime I'm aware of it, like when a siren goes off, or the siren for the volunteer fireman, I just send it to them. Just send it there. Then those that want it will take it. Those that don't will keep going. To when you come, yeah. To you, but you can ask yourself what you do. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to answer it. Sometimes I feel it's quite sad that the amount of time some of you have been doing this, in the questions that you been asking. I think you might have been asleep. The most helpful thing you have is your intuition. But if you don't use it, you're like a three-legged racehorse. And if you've ever seen one, you see they keep falling over. So I hope that's good for everybody.
This is the last one was from Haresh.
Okay. How does the healing energy help our emotional and mental bodies? How does it heal it? So the same similar way as how does an aspirin clear your headache? That doesn't clean your headache. It's just a band-aid. It just kills the pain. It doesn't heal the cause of it. So the healing energy help your emotional and mental bodies exactly the same way. They help to bring them. The healing energy will help to bring the emotional and the mental body back to where it usually operates. And that sort of heals it by transmuting some of the negativity that's there. And when doing so, it will also fix that hole by leaving a bit of pink energy there or anything that stops something else getting in. A lot of time there's people have got emotional problems. Sometimes it's there for a specific course of time, specific reason, specific, and they have it a long time because they never want to deal with it. And bodies, it can bring your body exactly the same thing. It can bring your body back to a more peaceful existence. That's the right way of putting it, or words along that energy. All happy?
There you go. That's all the questions.
Good on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
If anything didn't make sense, ask your intuition. Well, if you don't use it, it just curls up like an old cheese sandwich. But yeah, I hope that's answered some questions for you. Anyway, and this won't be the last time we do this. So thank you for all the questions. It was great. I like answering things like this because it keeps reminding me of my philosophy. Then every time I share it, it changes a little bit, and so be it. All right then.
Righty.
So we probably do these once a month, unless there's a lot of questions. We might do it earlier, but I'm not sure what's going to happen then, because hopefully next week we're going to be physically moving to where our new home's going to be. So I don't know what next week's going to bring, but this time of day it should be all right. So anyway, keep your eyes open on the little description that goes with the StreamYard thing. Notice, put it on YouTube, I suppose.
Yeah, we can put a little post onto the Facebook page as well. So
If you could do that and then just leave it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
we got to that date anyway. Everybody happy?
Yes, you have a lot of thank yous.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, it's 10 to 7 this part of the world. It's time I had a hot cup of tea because my vocal cords have seized up. All right. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you when we're looking at you, I guess. I can wave. I can't see you waving back. But these are my finger puppets, okay? And they're behaving at the moment. All right. Thank you. Ooh. I'm going to press the button now.
Okay.